toweling pretty well this morning, so I don't know how well you'll be able to hear me. I'm going to take you on a little tour of what things look like here at our part of the shore. Of course, a lot of this over on this side is just where we put things for the storm. The kayaks actually were up here. They've just been blown around a little bit. But it's when you get out here that you see the real strength of the storm. Those white marks, the white dots that you see around the lagoon, those are actually the tops of pilings, and usually those are at least 4 or 5 feet above the water. At the very least, well, actually I should say they're about 4 or 5 feet above the dock, and more like 6 to 7 feet above the water. Unbelievably, the boat made it through the storm. Had we known, I mean, we knew this was going to be of historic proportions, but the numbers that they were giving didn't suggest anything like this. They were just really most fortunate that the boat made it through, and you can see usually there are a number of steps from the deck to down to the dock, which then is a distance above the water. And in actuality, the water has gone down about a foot since last evening when it was at its worst. We never did get evacuated last evening, more than likely because they just can't get to us. And I see also that I believe the neighbor's jet ski was here last evening. Looks like maybe that's it down looking at those houses down the way, that's the road that we have to go out to get out of here. We did look to leave, but we have to excuse me. I'm pausing a moment because I was kind of shocked by something. This is my first tour. We hadn't quite calculated the difference between our street and the end of the street enough, and when we did go to leave, it was a little bit too high. These are dock boxes from our neighbor and from ourselves. Actually, the one in the furthest away, we had tied to the back railing, and it was we thought secure, but at least it's safe and it's not lost. You can see the mark from where the high tide came last evening. As you see different things around the yard, don't let them shock you. It is that we had removed a lot of things and piled them to keep them out of harm's way. I say this is my first look at the house, and we do have a number of shingles missing. guessing, but that would appear to be the extent of the damage to the house. Of course, a lot of debris brought up by the water. I think it kind of washed our garden for us and removed all the mulch. Fortunately, the water didn't come into the garage, so there was no damage to all the various equipment that's kept in there. And here is the street, which essentially is impassable at this point. Well, you can see here that the water is still in the street to the east of us. All kinds of stuff that has floated here. And of course this is the pond across the street from the house that usually is about 5 or 6 feet below the street level. And you can see also in the distance it goes over to Green Island. It looks like the ground level houses over there really have taken a beating. Green Island is a little lower than us, and then looking further down the road, well, again, a lot of debris, and actually debris to the point that the street is impassable. And you can see, well, if you can see the branch down the way, about another 100 feet beyond that, the water has come across the street from another pond and met the water from the lagoon. And this actually is the direction that we would have to drive out. We do have another house that we can go to, my mother-in-law's house that is now vacant. Actually, timing is everything. We totally emptied the house about 2 weeks ago, so there's no furniture there. But if there is electric there, which is questionable because it's only about 5 minutes from here, but if there is electric there, we may very well relocate there until we get utilities back in our house. So that's a quick tour of the Jersey Shore.